Started out, my first unit was at Fort Bragg. I was at Bragg for 10 years. Made E7 when I was 26 years old. I spent more of my career over in JSOC in 1st CAG, and I ended up finishing my last 2 years in 82nd. And I was told I was a dinosaur archaic non-commissioned officer from my colonel, so I knew it was time to go. I pulled my re-enlistment and def packet and got out. I had no idea what to fucking do, to tell you the truth. I actually went to a couple ACAP job fairs, and I got with a company called Triple Canopy, and it's a defense and security company. I worked for the DoD, and I signed with them for 2 years, and I did security operations in Africa and Afghanistan, and a few others. Did stuff in Jordan, go down to Kuwait a lot, maybe in Pakistan, things like that. So we were all over the Middle East and a few countries in Africa as well. And then when I got done doing contract work, I went back down to Florida. Had no clue what I was going to do. And my aunt, she's a professor here at WVU. She's a teacher in Allen Hall. And she told me, she's like, why don't you just tap into your vet benefits, get that rolling, and go to college. I'm like, sure, why not? I'm not doing anything else. It's been very difficult, and I've been up here for 3 years now. And I've had a very difficult time adapting to civilian life, especially here since it's Commissar, because you're, about what, 60% of the population here is 18 to 22. So it's like, I see it as like I'm having to deal with privates all over again, you know. And my outlook on college students is like, I've met some really good kids. I mean, some really good kids that have been here, you know, responsible, you know, highly educated, you know, I mean, or just, they're just good kids for the sake of being good kids. Their parents in phenomenal jobs. And I've met some kids I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire, because they are really dirt bags. You know, they don't come to class, complain when they have low grades. And I just look at them, I was like, you have no self-discipline, and it drives me nuts. From the first day, you set the tone. This is how it is, this is how it's gonna go. If you don't like it, there's a door. Here, you can't do that. You know, you have to suggest and move people in, you know, step by step. It's hard for every vet to admit, you know, whether or not you have something wrong with you. And for years, I said, I'm like, oh, I'm fine. You know, one thing I've encountered with the VA is tremendous, like when most vets, it happens to us all. Not I'm saying all, but a larger percent, you know, alcoholism, and the way the military prescribes narcotics, we get hooked immediately. And then getting out, you know, the VA is a pill mill. They'll give you benzodiazepines, any narcotics that you want, Xanax, and you're just pounding shots with it. And then, you know, the depression kicks in because, you know, after 2 divorces, haven't seen your kids in 6 years, don't even know if they still know your name, you start getting depressed. You start popping pills. You start drinking, and you start looking at your guns. You know, then you start doing a downward spiral. I will say yes, I have PTSD. I got a disability rating of 80%. I got 50% for TBI and 30% for PTSD. So I do have issues with PTSD. I have issues with, like, I'm real jumpy still. I always know where my exits are, kinds of things. I usually keep a firearm or some kind of weapon near me or on me. All veterans, you can tell by the way they walk. It's very easy to spot them out. Either some bebop like privates or some walk like I'm a veteran. Like, we just have a certain look to us. We really do. And there's some that I've befriended quite a bit. And there's some Pogue veterans. I talk Pogue's position on the grunt. Real cool, you know. It's like, it's just good to care what their job is. It's just good to find somebody who I can share that dark, twisted sense of humor that us veterans have. Because if I start talking to a random civilian, they're going to look at me like I need to be admitted or kicked out of college for inappropriate language or behavior. Because, let's face it, vets, we have a dark, twisted sense of humor because we have to try to make light of the situations we had overseas. So our dark sense of humor keeps us going. When you find other student veterans, you can keep that going, and you can grab a piece of that camaraderie that you once had. And granted, the LGBTQ is a new movement in America, but we have gay people, we have black people, white people, Hispanic, Asian in the military. It's all one team, one fight. So it didn't matter if you were gay or black or yellow or polka dotted. You were my brother. It said U.S. before anything. Whatever branch you were, it said United States before it. And that's how we all looked at each other per branch. Now, we may pick on each other by branch and by job, but it's still, we're still one family. we're on a strict budget, so all we really have is GI Bill benefits or voc rehab benefits, or we have limited income. And a lot of us can't afford to work because if we do take our attention from school, we'll fail. That's a big population. 80% of veterans drop out of college within their first year because they have a hard time adapting and focusing, because they still think rent, job, bills, kids. How am I going to focus on school if I have to do rent, job, bills, and kids? It's like, the Vietnam vets did have it worse. They had cold cups of coffee. The only thing difference from us to them is we have hot cups of coffee now, but it's still the same fight. Years for benefits, trying to get, it's still just a nightmare to VA. It really is. Now, one of the things that I do now to help with my transition, like I said, it's like I'm an MMA fighter. And that is a secondary outlet I have besides gym and lifting weights or running PT. And that gives me more purpose, because I also have camaraderie again inside the gym that I train in. So it's a small group of people, so it's probably like a platoon size element. It's no more, it's probably like 25 people, so it's a decent small platoon size element. And it's all one team, one fight. We have each other's backs, and there's men and women of all different ages there. And it's just like how it was military. It's all togetherness again.